Yo guys, and welcome to my new video. Today I will be talking about Demon Slayer Kimetsu no Yaiba, the movie Infinity Castle Part 1, The Return of Akaza. Well, now that's a mouthful, now is it? Alright, yes, so this movie, apart from its incredibly long title, is of course the continuation of the Demon Slayer series. I have watched the entire series. I have been there from the beginning, not entirely from when the first season aired, but I watched the first season in preparation for the Mugen Train movie, and then I became a big-ass fan of Demon Slayer, so I love this franchise to my heart. There are some things I can't do, which is Zenitsu and Inosuke. I continuously mash up their names, but that's everything. I am completely awful with any names, so I have just started to actually know the Hashira by name for this movie, so there's that. I love Demon Slayer, so when they announced that they were going to get this final season, this final chapter, the Infinity Castle chapter, which is the big endgame, like Infinity War endgame finale of the Demon Slayer franchise, when they announced that to be set into 3 separate movies, I was extremely hyped, but also extremely cautious, because of course it's a genius move to put these movies in theaters for people to go and watch these things. The only thing that is a little bit of a bummer is that you have to wait 2 to 3 years until you have the finale, and now I think it was announced that they would do one movie every 2 years, and then in the year between they would do the season season version of the movie, which I don't know if that's right. It's just a rumor as of now, but if that is true, that means that we won't have the finale of Demon Slayer until 2029. Which is quite far in the future, and I don't know if they can build up the hype for one season basically to be split up over those 3 or 6 years. So that's something I don't know. But today we are talking about the first chapter, the first part of this 3-movie saga, the first part of this trilogy of Infinity Castle of Demon Slayer, and what are my thoughts in it. When I first heard about this movie, I was extremely hyped. My expectations were off the charts. I still had to see the last season, so I still had to see the Hashira training arc, which is a season I binge watched in a matter of 2 days, and I have to be honest about that one. Wasn't my favorite season, but I did very much love the ending of that season. The season finale was awesome. It was action-packed, it was tense, it was incredibly tense. Insanely tense, and that ending when everyone got sucked in or got guitared into the Infinity Castle, I was jumping. I was literally jumping with that. I loved that. So I was extremely hyped to go into this movie, but then I saw the runtime for it, and which is 2 hours and 40 minutes, and I got a little bit skeptical because that is a little bit ambitious. And having seen the movie now, I can definitely say that it definitely was very ambitious, because this movie, even though it is still great, the animation is stellar, the fight scenes are off the charts, everything else with the story and every serious story point that they try to tell is all great. But there is a very big distinction between the fight scenes and everything in Infinity Castle and the obnoxiously large amount of flashbacks that they have in this. And the thing with the flashbacks in this movie is they really pull apart the movie quite big, and the movie really feels episodic because of it. Because what they did with it is you have the story of Infinity Castle, and you have the fight scenes, you have everything going on in the Infinity Castle, but then you always switch it up with flashbacks that are so incredibly different in tone from what we had from those fight scenes that they are attached to, that it's mostly feels like advertisement blocks when you watch a series on TV and stuff like that, when they split up an episode into multiple parts to have a 5 minutes advertisement break in between. And it sometimes feels like that, which is Not necessarily a bummer, because the flashbacks are still good, and the flashbacks definitely serve a purpose towards the greater story of this movie. But there are so many of them, and so many times they break up the flow of the fight scene of the movie, that they kind of do feel like a sword to go through, and making sure that because of those flashbacks being splattered in between the story that is awesome and bombastic and fight scenes, it makes sure that you can really feel those 2 hours and 40 minutes. I've heard a lot of people talking about how the Akaza backstory that they do, that is way too long. It is, but I also want to say that it's incredibly important to have it in the movie, so I definitely not saying that you should cut out all of those flashbacks. Definitely some of them are important. It's just that there are so many splattered and split up. Some flashbacks have flashbacks of their own, and some flashbacks are cut into several parts where they vanish between the fight scenes and the flashbacks and back and forth, to make sure that the flow of the movie just suffers a little bit from it, making sure that this movie is not as good as, or not as great as you hope it was going to be. It's not the big finale you're expecting, and that is absolutely not what I was expecting, because of course this is the first part of that big finale. It's the setup for the big finale. But there was just a little bit too much of flashback going on. Not in the way that it should be done, because it broke up the other vibe of the movie. You have this bombastic, you have this epicness of the fight scenes, and then you have the tenderness and the insightfulness from those flashbacks. And the feeling you have for both of these things are incredibly different from each other, making sure that you don't know what to feel about any of it, making sure that the flashbacks are not as cool as they can be, and to make sure that the story really feels like it's split up. Character-wise, everything is awesome. Everything is cool. Everything is part of a theme. Sorry, I started the quotes song over there. No, every character is awesome. I have continuously talked and bitched about Zenitsu on his channel, making sure that everyone knew that I did not like Zenitsu, because he was just such a crybaby all the time, and I did not really like it, and I thought Zenitsu was really annoying. Absolutely do think he is by far the best character of this movie. He is incredible. They did him so much justice. Everything they did with him was incredibly cool. Everything they done for him was incredibly nice. The story that they had with him was incredibly important, and I was really happy with what they did with it. I do feel like Inosuke, the other sidekick, is sidelined quite a bit in this movie. He is maybe in it for a minute or two, and I kind of wanted a little bit more of him. Same thing goes for Nezuko, but I can totally see why she is not in this movie as much, because of course everything that happened in Hashira training and everything that they have set up for her, and made sure that it's really normal that she isn't there in the movie, basically, which is totally fine by me. Just wish that Inosuke was a little bit more in this, you know, the poor guy. That's that, but Tanjiro is in it a lot, and Tanjiro is awesome, and Tanjiro remains awesome, and he now has a new sidekick to go through, and to see him fight with the Hashira training, or with a Hashira trainer, was incredibly cool, and worked incredibly well, and every one of the Hashira was incredibly awesome, and I love all of the Hashira. So yes, we are in the finale, and of course there are some high stakes ever present, and anyone can die, and I can definitely say that the movie delivers on those emotional beats and emotional moments and make you feel the tension. It's only very early in the movie that it happens, or that something happens that is really setting a stopper into your movie in a very good way, because wow, you've done it from the beginning already. That means that shit is about to get crazy, and the rest of the movie did not go as crazy as that fight scene, or the outcome of one of those fight scenes with one of the Hashira, and making sure that they could focus more on the demons, which is a good thing. So in the end, everything I want to say about this movie is it's very good. The animation is stellar. The fight scenes are awesome. Everything is awesome in this movie. It's just that the flashbacks and the fight scenes, which is the two big things of this movie, kind of clash continuously, making sure that this one feels more of a mess than the continuous movie line that you had with Mugen Train, that also had flashbacks, but they felt really interconnected and in the same vibe as the rest of the movie, making sure that it flowed a lot better than this one actually does. Infinity Castle Part 1 is an incredibly well-made movie. It's an incredibly awesome movie and it will get better upon rewatch, but I do think it will be best if you watch it in the season 4 that they're gonna make. If that one is going to be good, I have no idea, because the movie in and of itself is quite lengthy, should have been shorter and could have been shorter, only I should not know or do not know what you could cut out of it, so I have no idea what to say on that. It's just a little messy. They could have streamlined the story and the vibe of the entire movie a little bit more, and then it would have been great. In the end, I definitely deeply love Demon Slayer still. I can't wait for part 2 to air, and this one, I'm going to give this one 3.5 stars and a heart. What did you think of this one? Please let me know in the comments down below, because I'm really excited to hear your opinion on this movie. I want to thank you for watching, and I'd like to see you in the next video. Thank you, and bye bye.